We have done sweet potatoes for the first time. As first-time farmers, so many people have seen some success that we got out of our sweet potato project, and they've been asking, how much have you guys made out of your sweet potatoes? So I've decided to make a video and give you a full cost and share with you where we have lost and where we have actually made a profit. So this is the video that you all have been waiting for, wanting to know if you can also venture into the same project like we did. And we have done the risk for you, and we've collected a lot of data so that it can help you if you are to start your journey anytime. After this video, you will be a professional and you will handle it with caution. Right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is make sure that you subscribe if it is your first time, and if you haven't liked the video, please like the video so that it can help us reach more people, so that more people can be able to be reached by this information. This video can be able to actually get a wide range of people watching it from different places, and that might be helpful. So first thing I want to talk about is actually the seed. When I'm talking of the seed, I'm talking about the vines, the actual vines we have planted. These are the seeds that we have used for sweet potatoes. We have got different seeds that we have planted here, and we have bought them from different places. So the seed that we bought was actually costing us $500 for the 2 hectares that we did. It wasn't actually full 2 hectares. It was actually maybe 1 3/4. 1 hectare and 3/4 of a hectare. And guys, to be honest, we did not harvest the whole 1 3/4. We have left an acre out of 1 3/4. Let's just say it's 1 hectare and 2 acres, and we only harvested 1 hectare and 1 acre. And this is the information I want to share with you. So all of our sweet potato vines that we bought were actually $500. We bought them from different places, and we tried by any means to just buy without much information. And we're not buying from the best sellers, so we're not buying from the best sources. So we had to actually work on the sweet potatoes, making sure that we disinfect them, make sure that we dip them into our chemicals before planting them to make them better. So that was quite a lot of work we had to do before planting them, because we didn't want them to be affected by the weevil. So remember, if you're getting them from different places, it's quite difficult to just get them with good quality. So we had to do a disinfection. I'm sure we have made a video, and it's part of our channel. It's on the channel. If you can go down, you can actually be able to see how we're disinfecting them. So I'm not going to explain that on this video. Right. From there, we had to hire a plow. So a plow itself costed us like $120, and we needed it twice, because these were like almost 2 hectares. So per hectare, it costs like $120 to hire a tractor. We didn't have a tractor like we do now. Now we do have our working tractor that we bought with the money that we got from our sweet potatoes, and of which I'm telling you numbers now. So you're gonna get to see where we actually got the money to buy our working tractor. Right. So we hired the tractor twice, and it was like $240 for the hiring, twice hiring. First hectare 120, second hectare 120. That is including the fuel for the tractor. So either you pay 120, or you could pay $80 for the tractor, and then you buy your own 25 liters of diesel. But nowadays the prices for diesel went up now, which means that the prices for the tractor is now also going up. It's now going for $140. So it's either you buy your own fuel and you bring your what do you call it, you bring your $80 to them. It's still the same, but you're gonna pay more, because nowadays I think if you are to buy a 25 liters of fuel, it's gonna cost you, of diesel, it's gonna cost you around $38 to $40. That is the price for now. It's almost that price. It's almost like $40 for a 20 liter, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, I'm sure you check the prices. Nowadays I think it's $1.96 as I'm making this video. It's $1.96 for 1 liter. So which means that if you multiply that $0.96 by 25, you're actually paying $49. So it's $49 plus 80. It's $129. So it's quite cheap, but some will say like altogether they will charge you like $140. I don't know why. That's the normal price. So it's better you buy your own fuel and then they charge you, say they charge you $90 or $100 or $80. So it's quite different depending on the tractor you are getting or that you are hiring. But if you have your own tractor, that will be cheaper, like us we do here with our working tractor that I have shown you. With our working tractor, according to the numbers that someone has shared with us, if we can actually use 8 liters to plow a whole 1 hectare. So that means 8 liters will cost us around $15 to $16 to plow a single hectare. So that will be cheaper for us. So thanks for the support that you guys gave us, and we managed to buy this working tractor. So moving on from the plow, we move on to the cultivator. So after we have made our raised beds, we needed a cultivator. So I cannot start with the cultivator. I'll be wrong if I start like that. Let me start with the labor that people, after we have plowed our place on our land preparation, we needed to make our raised beds. As you can see, we have raised beds behind me. Those are the raised beds. Let me just show you guys so that you can actually understand what I mean when I'm talking about raised beds. This is the example. These are the raised beds or the ridges or molds that we've made here. So these raised beds, we needed a lot of labor for people to make them straight and make them the way we wanted. We didn't want them to be too big because they will not produce the sweet potato type we wanted. I'm sure I've explained why they do not need to be too big on another video. So if you are someone that watches most of our videos, you are able to know what I mean when I'm saying that. So we have hired labor several times. We needed labor to make the raised beds, to plant, and also to cultivate, to actually do the hoeing along the way, because we needed some hoeing. There's a time where weeds become too much, and we try to actually remove the weeds using our hands, plucking them with our hands, or also using the hoes. So for the labor, we can see we've lost $200. From there, we needed a cultivator also as we were doing the hoeing. The cultivator would come in between the rows, and then it make the ridges in between and get rid of some weeds, and making sure that they maintain the raised bed as well. So that costed us $20 for the cultivator to do everything, because that was the manual plow we were using with the cattle plow. That one, the manual one, is the one that we were using. So it costed us only $20 to do everything, because it was not doing a lot of work. Right. From there, we also bought our fertilizers. We only used 4 bags for our 1 3/4 hectare. We used only 4 bags. So for the 4 bags of compound D, that's the one that we have used. So it's either use compound C or compound D. So we actually use, let me say we have used both. We've used the 2 bags of compound D and 2 bags of compound C. So remember, the compound D will help on the growth of the root growth. It helps with the growth of the stem as well. But it's much richer. The one that we're using was much richer in the root growth, and not really much with it had less nitrogen. But also compound C, it's quite a little bit balanced. So we used compound C and compound D in some places. So after we've used that was like $120, the one that we bought, the 4 bags. Each bag was going for $30. Then we also bought gypsum. Gypsum, we had to apply it on top of the beds later, as they start growing, as they start making the sweet potato bulbs. We wanted them to be bigger, so we started using gypsum, applying gypsum on the sweet potatoes. And that gypsum, we only used 2 bags, and each bag was going for $45. So all in all was $90 for the gypsum. From there, I can also mention the fuel that we've used when we're traveling from the trips that we did when we were going to buy our sweet potatoes. That we can say we've used around $50. So on the $50, we've done like 3 trips, and it was around 40 kilometers where we traveled to buy the sweet potatoes. So I think $50 is quite fair, right? And remember that the prices I'm giving you guys, they are not the accurate prices. They are average prices in some cases. Yes, because if I'm to say I used exactly $50 on fuel, I'll be lying. Maybe I used less than that, because this now depends on where you are going to be getting them. So do not use this information direct on your investment, or if you are looking to invest in your own way, do not like just pick this information and use it, and you might end up getting disappointed, because where you get the sweet potato fines might be far from compared to where I got them. So this is an estimate that can give you better information on how you can plan on your next investment in this project if you are looking to do that. So I can talk of chemicals. There are 2 chemicals that we have used. It's actually Lambda, that's number 1. The number 2, we used chlorpyrifos. So Lambda we used, we were buying like a 1 liter for around $8, and we used like 4 of them, those 1 liter bottles. I actually don't have one here. I could have shown you, but it's called Lambda, LAMDA. Exactly, MBDA, sorry. That was for $24, the one that we bought. And chlorpyrifos we used for $30. It was quite a little bit of expensive, and it's actually an insecticide. Insecticide, and it's actually stronger than Lambda. The reason why we're using the 2, I think I've explained it in one of the videos. We're using the 2 in a way that we put Lambda this week. We're putting after every 2 weeks. If we put Lambda these 2 weeks, next 2 weeks we put chlorpyrifos to try and confuse the pests, so that they do not resist the chemical, so that it can get to work. We're using an insecticide and Lambda and a pesticide. So we're trying to actually change them. This one is much stronger, this one is less stronger, this one is different, so that they do not resist the chemical. Right, from there, from what I've mentioned right now, I think that is quite everything that went on the project. That is the whole cost, and the overall cost of everything that I've mentioned here goes up to $1,274. That was the expenses we have faced on our sweet potato project. So I want to look at the sales that we have made after. This is what we did in December and January, and we've waited until right now in July. But before July, we actually started selling sweet potato vines. When we looked at our sweet potatoes, and we could see that they are now grown, the sizes of our sweet potatoes was actually good enough to start selling the vines, because we needed to wait before selling the vines. We needed to have a big enough sweet potato under the soil before we start selling the vines, because so many people wanted to also start planting vines, and we do sell vines here on the plant, on the farm, right? So I want to talk about the sales, because most of you are interested in knowing the sales. How much have you actually made? How profitable it is? Is it a good business that you can also start? This is the part that you have been waiting for. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, so that we can reach to 50,000 subscribers after this video. We need to reach 50,000, guys. We are almost there. Please, thank you so much if you have managed to make us pass the 50,000 mark, which is a half of 100,000, because that is the next target. Thank you so much, guys, for being part of this channel, and we appreciate you. And make sure that you do not leave without putting a like. A like is very important. Also, guys, when those adverts are playing, please allow them to play. That's how we earn. If you support us that way, we keep making more videos and keep making helpful videos, and you can also suggest what type of videos you want to watch on this channel, and we can always deliver like we always do, because we read most of your comments and we get a lot of suggestions from you guys, because you are part of our family here on this channel. We appreciate that support. So let's talk about the sales. I'm sure you've liked the video. Please, guys, I'm sure you've liked. If you are watching on a TV, please take your phone and put a like. I give you that moment again one more time. All right, let's talk about the sales. You know, the business actually started from the vines because we had sweet potato vines. And these vines were going for a good price. But at that point in time, we started selling in April, the sweet potato vines, because our sweet potatoes were big enough already. So when we started selling, we're selling at, like, for single bags, or bags that are less than a hectare, we're selling at $7 per bag. But for those that wanted a hectare and above, we're selling $500 per hectare. So for single bags that we have sold, and including the what do you call it, including the hectares we've sold like for 6 hectares all in all, and it came out of less than a hectare. All the sweet potato vines came out of less than a hectare portion. I'm sure you are understanding what I'm saying. We got the vines that will feed a 6-hectare portion in a less than a hectare portion. That's where we got our vines from. And that could provide for a 6-hectare land size. So that came from less than a hectare, and we got like 6 hectares worth of vines. And we are selling them at a $5 per bag. And our bag carries 300 vines inside. That is a 50 kg bag. It's not weighing 50 kg. We just use a 50 kg bag, fertilizer 50 kg bag. We put the vines in there. 300 vines make up a bag. And that bag was going for $5, and $500 for 1 hectare. And what do we mean $500? $500, like, that is 100 bags, because 100 bags make up a 1 hectare. 100 bags of 300. If we're talking about 100 by 100, a place of 100 by 100, spacing each vine 30 centimeters in between, we needed 300 on each line, and we needed 100 lines to make a 1 hectare, because we put rows in between. We put a 1 meter in between the rows, and then a spacing of 30 centimeters. For that, we needed 100 bags, that is 300 vines inside, to make a 1 hectare. So we sold 6 hectares of sweet potato vines, and we did not cut the whole 1 3/4 size of land that we had. We only cut less than a hectare, almost a hectare of vines. Right? I'm sure that you have understood what I've tried to mention, because it was quite difficult to mention. Sorry, guys, I'm not the best in explaining, but I try to make it very understandable. So after we have sold six hectares, that made us $3,000. So kudos to us. We have just made a good profit. So I'm gonna subtract a 3,000, and then I subtract 1.274, so that we can see our profit. So our first profit from the vines alone was $1,726, right? Which is a good amount of money, to be honest. Just from vines, we've already made a very good profit out of our sweet potatoes, right? Moving on from them, 1.726 is our first profit. Let's move on to the sweet potatoes themselves. This is what most people are so interested in knowing. Okay, how much are they? Where are you going to get the market? How is your market, and how did you do it? Right. Looking at the sweet potato itself, locally right here and in places around here, we were selling them at $9. Yes. And to be honest, at Mbari, if I had to take them to Mbari, they were going to be $4. So I want to compare the market that we've used versus the market that is readily available for everyone. Right. Since we have social media platforms like here, it was quite easy to find the market. We've just posted, and most people were interested, and they started making orders. And the way we were taking orders, you pay for your order, and then we deliver it. We still have sweet potatoes. People are actually collecting them up there. So we are not talking about something that we don't have. Let me just get closer so that you guys can be able to see. Right. What I'm saying is that we are selling them for $9, right? As we're selling for $9 locally, we also got a market in South Africa, which was a very good market. To be honest, I think that's the best market we found. Right, in South Africa, we were selling them at 300 Rand. And if you translate that to US dollars, that is $18.50. $18.50. So we're selling $9 locally and $18.50 in South Africa. And if we subtract transport on each bag was around $3. That's the maximum, $3 for transport, because we're packing them into like 9 buckets in a single bag, 90 kg bag. We would put 9 buckets, and each 9 buckets were costing around 300 Rand to 400 Rand. So let's say we have 9 buckets inside, 9 buckets going for $18.50, $18.5 times 9, which is $166 on each bag. And then we say minus $3, we get 15.5. Then by 9, this is 139 minus 166, so which is around $26 on each bag. And that $26 makes up around 400 Rand. And that is the maximum we could pay for a bag on the bus to send it to South Africa for some deliveries. So this is what we could make. We could make an approximate of around $15 to be very safe. Let's say we could make $15 on each bag. And in South Africa, we have sold 250 bags. And that's the minimum. Because we have done a little bit more. And here locally we've sold an average of 70 bags. So if we are to say locally we're selling at $9, as I said. So let's just say $9 by multiplied by the number we've sold, which is 70 bags. That is $630. And if you are to subtract the transport, because we're traveling to Harare sometimes to deliver them, some have delivered them in Marondera, which is our local town, which is close by. So we could travel around 100 kilometers to the capital city of Harare, which is here in Zimbabwe. So the maximum we've spent on transport is around $130. So if we subtract that 130, we get a $500. That's the profit I can say. Oh, that's the maximum money we've made here locally with our sweet potatoes, around $500. Then from there, I'll look at the market that we had outside. This is the final calculation that we need to do and subtract the whole transportation we've done. So as I said, we have sold all our sweet potatoes outside at 250 bags. So we've sold around 250 bags at $18.50 minus $3 transport, right? So we have made a total of $18.50. We've made a total of $4,625. Then we subtract the transport of $3 on each bag. So we can say we've used $875 on transporting them to South Africa, and the overall profit or the overall revenue was $3,750. Then if you are to add that $500 on the locals that we have sold, that will give us let me just quickly do that. I'm sure it's 4.3 or 4.2 or something. Let me just say 3,750 add 500. That is 4,250. That's the total amount we've made out of our 250 plus 70 bags. So which is around 320 bags that we have sold in total locally and in South Africa. So that is the total amount we have made, 4,250, and then we add the money that we have spent on the vines, which is 3,000 Sorry about that. So plus 3,000 that we've made. And remember, on the vines, we did not transport them. People would come and fetch their sweet potato vines on the farm. So all in all, the amount we've made is 7,250 out of everything. Then we need to subtract the expenses that we had. Remember, we had expenses that we faced. The expenses, or the money that was used, the initial investment we've used in doing the project, which is 1,274. So that comes to a total of 5,976 in profit. I think that is the overall amount that was left out of everything. So I believe that it goes a little bit over 6,000 because we still have sweet potatoes. I'm talking about the numbers that we have already done, and we still have sweet potatoes left, and we are leaving a full acre untouched that is down there. We are not digging those. We are only digging about 1.5 hectares. That's what we are digging so far, and we're leaving an acre outside because we are not gonna dig it. So I can say we've already made a good profit. If we could sell that acre that we have down there, we could also, because it's like 100 meters lines by 40. If we could sell that, we could also make a little bit over 1,000. So I can say, to be honest, from what I've seen, from what I see right now, and from what I've shared with you, the profits are quite good, because in most farming activities, as a startup, it's not easy to, let me just divide this amount real quick. Please don't run away. 1,274. Let me just say 5,000, right? Which is the last amount we have just mentioned. If I say minus 1,274, then I say divide by 1,274. We have 4x the hour. It's almost 5x. We 4x and half, 4x and a half our initial investment we've put on the farm, which is a good thing. That's why we've decided to also use the money to buy our tractor that costed us a total of 1,700 US dollars that you see here. This small working tractor is just something that we're going to look at and say, oh, okay, our sweet potatoes did this for us, because the tractor itself was going for 1.1 something, and then the engine itself was going for around 590. So that brought us to 1,700, and there are some more dishes we still need to buy right here, the disc plows that we need to change and get more different ones to make it more to work in different places, because this one you can actually add a planter, you can do different things, you can use a bed maker on it. It does a lot of work, like it has fittings that are different. You can actually buy those fittings and put them and use it in your own way. So it does quite a lot of work, and it's quite useful, and it doesn't chow a lot of diesel using that Changfa engine, which is a good thing. From my point of view, guys, to be honest, this project, we are doing it a little bit bigger this season that we are looking at. And the reason why we had to buy a tractor is because of the way we struggle to get a tractor. It's also a good business if you have money. Guys, invest in a tractor. Invest in a tractor, you're always gonna make a good money here. It's an investment I'm sharing with you that you can also do if you have good money. If you can buy a tractor for around 10,000, trust me, I think in one season, if you work very well, you could bring that money back. Trust me, because there's quite a lot of people who need the tractor. A lot of people are investing back in farming. People are coming back in the rurals trying to do the same farming, and I believe it's going to be profitable. If you can find your 10,000 US dollars, invest in getting a tractor, trust me, maybe 2 seasons, your 10,000 can be back, and it stays for years and years. I've seen someone using a tractor for over 18 years. They were saying like this one is like over 18 years and they've been using it. Still does the same work. They just maintain it very well. And you keep making your good money out of your tractor as long as you maintain it very well. So I believe that a tractor can be a very good investment. This one, for us using like it on less hectares like here, where we do not have a huge land or big land, this one is useful. It's for our use right here on the farm alone, not for the commercial use. But yeah, maybe like if we run out of places to use it, maybe we can actually hire it somewhere. Some people do it, they do hire it to other people, but in our case, when we're looking to hire it because we want to actually expand or plant more, and I mean, we want to actually scale up our business. Because here's the lucky thing, this season we are not buying vines. So the price that I've shown you where we were buying vines for $500, we are cutting it off. And also remember guys, vines are going to be expensive in October, and when the rain season starts, vines are going to be a little bit higher. So which means we have more business, we're going to sell them at a good price. I'm already taking orders for those that wants to actually start their sweet potatoes. You just get in touch, get vines. Vines are going to be a little bit expensive, and if you are to order them before October, you get them at a lower price, because we've already started our nursery, and today we are actually going to the garden to plant more. So we're going to have enough vines for a lot of people. It won't be enough vines for the whole country or for everyone, but I'm sure we will be able to supply at least 20 hectares to a lot of people. So imagine if we were to supply 20 hectares and each hectare, okay, let me talk about one bag. The one bag will be going for $15. That's the minimum. $15 by 100. That would be $1,500. And if we are to have 20 hectares worth of vines, that would be times 20. That would be a $30,000. That needs us only 3 months to make. Isn't that a good business? Isn't that a good business? Let me talk to you guys again about these sweet potatoes in October, and let's see if that do not happen. I've said this before when I was doing my calculations. Now I do know what I'm talking about because I've seen it happening with other people. I've heard it and I've tried it, I've tasted it, and it works, guys. Sweet potatoes do have a demand. People love sweet potatoes. You probably do love too. So there's business around it, and it's still a very good one. Also, looking at the type of climate, looking at the type of soil we have in Zimbabwe, guys, sweet potatoes do work. Right, let me just go there up here with you and show you guys what we have. There are sweet potatoes we have, because people are actually picking them. As we wrap up our video, just want to show you some of the sweet potatoes we still have after the sales that I've mentioned that we made. And I've heard people saying that don't you want to partner with us and all that? It's a good thing, guys, to partner with other people that do have a positive and that do have a passion in what you have, that do have also finances. It's a good thing. So get in touch. Here's our our beehive that failed, guys. It's right here, lying here. But we're still going to continue with the project, just that we're still busy. So these are the sweet potatoes that we do have on the farm. And people are still collecting them. And what I love is actually the sizes that we do have here. The sizes are quite good. And the varieties. So many people have been requesting for this variety to be specific. Specifically the white variety, like, got a lot of people's attention. And we have quite a lot on our nursery. And if you're looking to have your sweet potato vines, the white variety, this one has quite a huge market. So I highly suggest you to also come and get this one before October, because we gotta have it as well. So also the red ones, people do love them, and so many people are used to it. I'm sure you guys, most of you have been around the red ones. You have tried the red ones, you have ate the red ones, and you like them most. So we still have them. So get in touch if you're in need of vines, because we have more. And I hope this video has been helpful for most people who are interested in getting into farming. This is one of the good videos you could find on the internet, especially that has to do with sweet potatoes. We are talking about things that we've tried out. We're talking about things that we are doing. We have this field. As you can see, people are working right here and they are putting efforts, and we are hiring the locals to actually help us to make sure that we also like create employments in the area, and we're helping communities, we're helping families to feed families. So we're actually like creating employment in the rurals, which is a good thing, because some people are just seated out there drinking those, I don't know what they call it mkozodo, whatever they call it in the local names, those things that are bad for their health. So instead of doing that, let them come, let's have this, let's work, because we are used to know that in this season, this is the season where we call it chirimo. In this season, in most cases, we'll be playing football out there, doing nothing. I mean, going to what do you call it? Going to a growth point and just sit around with people talking nonsense, and I mean doing things that are not productive. But at least we are making use of our September, August, our July. We are making use of it that time where there is no rains. We are actually still working and bringing more employment to the community, which is a good thing. Guys, thank you so much for the support that you keep giving us, and we appreciate your presence on this channel. Is very useful, and we'll try by any means to keep giving you useful information that helps you and that do not keep you stuck. Because there are people out there who do not have information. There are people out there who do not have even a place to start planting. Look at this, guys. Next to our next door, outside our fence, people are not planting anything. This could be the land that you are using. But you are out there and saying, I do not have land. Get in touch with me, guys. Let's find a way that we can get to use the land that is not used here. That's the best thing we can do. That's the best information I can share with you. Thanks so much for watching this video, and let's get into our commercial.
Did you guys know that we do camera installations, right? So kana une farm yako or plot or whatever, and you want to monitor it remotely, guys, we do camera installations. So my camera has one advantage, it has two-way communication, right? And you can monitor from wherever you are. On your phone, you can put a big screen TV, whatever you want, we offer that. Then my cameras also aningashishanda ne solar. Kana chizodoya anoshanda ne magetsi, that's up to you. Pane ane solar, then pane anoshanda ne Wi-Fi or anoshanda ne 4G SIM card, right? Then we also do solar installations, right? We're working with professionals who know how to install my solar professionally, guys. So from 1 kVA to 12 kVA solar systems, we are your plug for that. Kumbanga kuite magetsi, guys. Kumbanga kuna kite. Imagine you're coming from wherever you are staying. Unaona wewe kumba kune magetsi, kune solar. Besides the solar, tinotoita futi ma Starlink installation. So Wi-Fi pamba. Guys, Wi-Fi. Please, guys, let's do my Starlink installations. Then we also offer my street lights or my floodlights installation. Pambanga pa wenechiedza. Don't be scared to go out at night because it's very dark. I know how dark it can get. So please do get in touch with us for my lights and then there is street lights and my floodlights. So the difference between the two is that my street lights and motion sensing when you walk past and then the light lights up, right? Then we also do drone shots. Yeah, those drone shots are basically aerial views of your place. We can go anywhere. Trust me, we can travel anywhere in Zimbabwe. We have traveled as far as Chirezi for our work. So please, wherever you are, get in touch with us. Drone shots. Then we do project management. What do we mean by project management? Say, for instance, your project, and you're managing it remotely. Guys, sometimes you need that someone who can just come and say, guys, then you also manage my projects. We can start the journey with you from A to Z. We also work with builders, we work with and all of that. We are there to manage any project. Even and you want us to be there to manage that project, to see we are your plug, guys. We also do my alarm systems. If you want your home to be secure, like and then there's an alarm that goes we are the plug for that. We do those things. Then there's land measurement, guys. We do land measurement. Yakuti, before you buy a plot or a piece of land, guys, it's wise to always measure before you even make the final purchase. But sometimes you get people, we run on different errands, and you get people that will say, measure all land rangu yanga 3 hectares. We get there, what's on maybe 2.5, and you'll be charged maybe per hectare or whatever. They'll be charging you a certain price for the space that you're buying. So it's very important to know how big is your land. We can do that, and also do a drone shot of that land so that you get an aerial view of the place. Then Tati Tumika, guys, we do all sorts of errands as long as you tell us we do, and we travel anywhere in Zimbabwe. And if you're running a business, you have a business that needs some form of exposure, that needs some form of advertisement, we are your plug, guys. We have over 1 million followers on our Facebook, our TikTok, and we also have audience that is right here, guys. Audience that is ready to support your business. So get in touch with us on the following number.